Hi, and welcome back to Real Moms, Real Stories, Real Savvy.
So what you making us for lunch today, Kathy?
All right, well, you know, because I'm kind of a healthy eater, I made us an organic salad.
That looks delicious. Look at all the fancy colors. And what are you over there stirring
Well,
up?
just mixing up a little homemade salad dressing, nothing fancy, just a little lemon juice, some balsamic vinegar, some oil, and a little garlic and salt and pepper.
Wait. There's no peanut oil or peanuts in there.
No, it's olive oil. Why? Are you allergic?
I'm not allergic, but Kimani is highly allergic to it. In fact, if I eat peanuts and kiss her, it could become fatal.
I've heard of that happening.
You know, it seems like so many kids are allergic these days.
Well, I know every time we have a class party, there's a list of things I can't bring to Layla's class because of all the food allergies.
The food allergies has doubled in the past 20 years.
I can attest to that because both of my kids have allergies. Kimani is terrible. She's allergic to chocolate, tomatoes, citrus items, mushrooms, even dairy products, and we already know peanuts.
Well, that doesn't surprise me because you know what I learned this week? 1 in 5 infants will develop an allergy. 30 to 60% of those will be related to food, particularly allergenic bovine proteins.
What is that?
Well, that's a fancy posh term for cow's milk proteins.
You are so...
Where did you learn that?
I did my homework.
That's real savvy, Kathy. Thank you.
Girls, let's eat. You are so silly.
I am enough. Today, 1 in every 5 infants develop allergies, and a good part of these are due to foods. Food allergies affect about 6% of children younger than 3 years old. These numbers have doubled in the past 20 years and continue to grow. The allergic reactions can be very serious, but the concern is also to protect the child from further allergic reactions as they get older, and to educate parents on how to prevent the problem in the first place. Many parents avoid giving peanuts to their infants and toddlers because they hear of the potentially fatal reactions. When there is an allergic reaction to peanuts, it can be very severe, even fatal, and the child is unlikely to outgrow this allergic reaction. However, peanuts are not the primary source of allergies in young children. It is cow's milk, which causes almost 90% of infant and toddler food allergies.
Most possible causes of food allergy in young children, there's actually 8 of them. There's 8 food groups. Most common is cow's milk. And then you have soy, eggs, peanuts, tree nuts, shellfish, fish, and wheat. So those are the usual causes.
In cases of infant allergies, their young bodies undergo an exaggerated reaction to the proteins found in certain foods. Baby's ideal food is breast milk.
Breastfeeding is very important in preventing food allergies for several reasons. The most important, I think, is that in the breast milk, there are some ingredients there that would help mature the GI tract of the babies so they can handle food later on much better. And secondly, the proteins in human milk is so much easier to digest compared to formula.
Breastfeeding your child is a loving and nurturing way to pass essential human proteins onto the baby's immature digestive tract. But while there is never an allergy to breast milk, there might be a reaction to breastfeeding from the foreign proteins in the mother's breast milk.
I started thinking that maybe he's allergic to something that I'm eating. And you hear that most of the time when you're breastfeeding, what the mother eats does not affect the child. But for Casey, it did.
Okay.
And I, through several weeks of reading on the internet and eliminating certain foods, I found that dairy really affected him more than any other food. It affected him so much that if I had the slightest bit of dairy, he would cry and just cry and writhe in pain. His face would be red. I mean, he was miserable.
If you give your young child food she might be allergic to, it is important to be on the lookout for the following signs of an allergic reaction.
You could get skin manifestations, which is the hives, rashes, and you can get the respiratory symptoms like the congestion, the runny nose, and the GI symptoms. You can get the vomiting, gasiness, bloating, and sometimes bloody stools.
By the time a child is 4 or 5 years old, they seem to be able to tolerate dairy products better. But what concerns pediatricians is what they call the atopic march.
Atopic march is the progression from food allergy, and as the child grows older, starts developing atopic dermatitis or atopic eczema, and as they get a little bit older, that child would develop allergic rhinitis, and sometimes they would lead into asthma.
So are Casey's symptoms dwindling, or?
It was around 4 months. I'd gone, we had no dairy in my diet. He was doing fine. And the doctor had recommended or had said, a lot of infants will outgrow this. And we are very lucky because that seemed to be the case with Casey. Around 3.5 to 4 months, I had some cheese one day and it was delicious.
Glad you enjoyed it. Did you pay the price?
Yeah. Actually, no, I was like enjoying my delicious chicken pesto. Topped with mozzarella, lots of mozzarella, and Casey was fine.
Okay.
And I was so happy. And we were literally, we're just waiting, going like, okay, he's gonna cry, he's gonna cry, he's gonna cry. And he never did. And we're like, could he be over it? So slowly I have reintroduced dairy to my diet. He seems to be okay with that. We have recently started him on supplementing on soy formula. Still, there's issues that happen every now and then, so I'm not sure if he's completely out of the woods yet, but he's so much better.
Feeding your child nutritious food from early on will provide the foundation and building blocks to help her grow strong and healthy. Knowing which foods to avoid ensures that you are making smart choices for your child, and that will last her a lifetime.